Hi there, everyone. I'm Coach Tim, founder of the Mind Science School of Consciousness. Thank you for joining me here on this Sunday. I like to say it's beautiful, but the sun's kind of hiding on us today, but it's always a beautiful day anyway. Rain, sleet, or snow. So yeah, I just want to jump on and try to make this quick and kind of address a pervasive issue that I see within different communities, especially dealing with nervous system regulation, even meditation and things, because of a lot of things that kind of thrown into the pot to kind of confuse people, and that is breath work. So I've noticed a lot of people who've said that breath work does not work for them, and so I kind of want to clear up some things to kind of give some people some clarity, so that way you can get some direction instead of this thing that's it could be kind of true, but then again, because of things not being done in the proper way, it kind of causes confusion. See, I kind of want to make a difference between breath awareness and breath work. And what that means is, when we're dealing with nervous system regulation, the nervous system has two components to it, to kind of break it back down. And that's, we're looking at the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system is what we call rest and restore. What it signals to the body, and maybe I should have communicated this at the beginning, within your breath communicates directly to your nervous system. And so let's just say you're in the rest and restore, mode. It's going to signal your nervous system, because your breath is going to signal that you're breathing slowly, and it's going to signal to your nervous system in the neuroception process that your body is safe. But once it's shifted into the sympathetic or the survival mode set, when your breath is shallow and and basically it's rapid, it's kind of panic, more or less, because some people even hyperventilate when you're having anxiety attacks. And so this signals to the nervous system now that there's a threat. And so if you're getting what I'm saying, your breath connects directly to your nervous system, because your breath actually tells your nervous system whether your body's safe or it needs to be protected from something. And so basically, when you have this tool, you're able to shift your nervous system directly from the sympathetic nervous system and kind of let your body know that it's safe just by regulating your breath. So to kind of clear up some things, breath work wouldn't necessarily work, because with pranayama, kind of a tongue twister sometimes, it's an advanced type of breath work. And so it features things like breath of fire and things of that nature to kind of, in the energetic world, to cleanse energies that are stored within the energy centers of the body. So even though, some of you have met some practitioners who mean well, because they're looking at the energy centers of the body, but what they don't realize is that when you start doing these advanced breath works, that are more rapid and things, it's actually, to a person who has not relieved their traumas, it's actually signaling to their body that they're under distress. And so now it starts to get this neuroception system to start going into the trauma again, and because the body feels like it's reliving that trauma again. So what actually should have been done is having you become aware of your breath. And that is just simply just noticing, just breathing slowly in and out. And the most important part about it is that on the exhale, that your exhale is twice as long as the inhale. Because even with the inhale itself, the inhale increases your heart rate. The exhale decreases your heart rate. And so then in this manner, it's signaling to your nervous system that you're safe. So these experiences that some of you have had that have more or less triggered some traumas in your body, because they started you off with an advanced breathwork technique that wasn't even allowing you to actually witness. Because once you start becoming aware of your breath, then you become aware of your thoughts. And when you become aware of your thoughts, you can become aware of the traumas, and you can begin to allow yourself to recognize those traumas, and then tell your body that you're no longer in threat anymore. You're letting your body know that you're safe, because that's all that's happening. Your body wants to know that you're safe, because that's the job of your nervous system. It only has one job, and that's actually for survival and protection. And when you've had traumas that are stored in the amygdala of the brain, throughout time or whatever, it can kind of get a little overactive and have things going on that actually are not going on, because the neuroception process does not actually need threats to be there. It just needs perceived threats. So if you've had something that happened to you in the past, now something similar, even though it's not actually happened, but you're perceiving that way, you begin to relive it all over again. And so that's what comes back to that breath, because when you had this happen, if someone you notice right now, pay attention to your breathing. Is it deep, or are you breathing from the chest? And most of you are probably breathing from the chest because you've conditioned your body to do it that way. So when someone brought you a breathwork technique to exacerbate that situation, of course it didn't work for you. Because again, you were not ready for breathwork, you were ready for breath awareness. And then this comes later, as you, during your journey, after you've allowed yourself to reset your neuroception process, that way you're not so overactive, and begin to recognize these traumas and give them validity, but your body already knows it's safe from them then. Excuse me. So this also applies to people who like to think they're meditating, but they don't want to do breathe. You don't want to actually breathe. Well, this is a problem too, because you have to shift your brainwave state to actually get into meditation, because if you're not, you're going to stay in the same beta mindset that has the monkey mind, what we call it. So you have to understand, you have to shift your brainwave state to actually begin to shift your nervous system, and to begin to shift into a meditative state. Because if not, your brain is just sitting here going over and over again with the same thoughts going all over, because you haven't allowed yourself to shift to where you've left the worldly thoughts behind and actually allowed yourself to go within. See, when you're in the beta mindset, which we kind of get a little specific, that's in the 8 to 13 hertz range. So it's really fast. You're trying to get down, eventually, from down in the theta, which is 4 to 8. But basically, you have to allow to come from beta down into alpha and down into theta. This is allowing this, breath work, well, not actually breath work, but breathing allows the breath to work to shift your nervous system into a state that allows you to meditate. So I know a lot of apps and things like that don't feature these things, and it's not by mistake. There's a reason why most people are just now hearing about things like meditation and things like that, because it's not actually been something they wanted you to know about. And then when they're telling you some of these things, I can assure you, they're telling you pieces and parts, and they're selling you things, but the goal is not actually for you to actually get there. It's like giving you a little bit, but not giving you the main ingredients. So just like yoga, for instance, most people think yoga is just simply about stretching, but it's really about releasing trauma from the body, and breathing is the most important part of it. But that you wouldn't feature that in most yoga classes, because it would take the yoga practitioner to actually know that some kundalini energy needs to be risen in the body, because this is the whole process, transforming the body, not just to come relax. But relaxation is what allows this process to happen. So it has to become relaxed, shift from survival, shift from the world of the beta in the sympathetic nervous system into the healing and restoration and the source energy of the parasympathetic. So it all works together. So just kind of, to wrap things up, because I don't want this to go on too long. I just want to kind of really get to this point that you probably have, perhaps you want to join some of us who are actually showing you how to actually become aware of your breath, and then allow you to become, basically prepared for the further practices down the road. So if you feel that breath work and things have not worked for you, and you actually like to know how to do it properly while allowing yourself to release the traumas, I invite you to some of our classes, and I also do private practices, which are probably best for most of you, because everyone has something different that they have going on within themselves, and whatever's going on in you. What you need to understand now is that whatever symptoms you have going on, you need to look at your nervous system, because the nervous system is the operating center of the body. It operates every function in your body. And most of you right now are treating things that are symptoms of what the nervous system is actually producing. But that's pretty much why you're not getting any relief, on medications and things like that, because it's only treating the symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system. So I just want to kind of clear that up, again, and invite you guys, to come out and actually learn these proper techniques, because I don't want to see people getting frustrated with these things, because I'm great to see that nervous system regulation has now become something that people are addressing, but unfortunately, we need to understand that two things need to be done. You need to become aware of your breath, and you need to understand that all other things that people are throwing out there with you, if it's outside of you, they're only accessories to things that you need to do within yourself. See, you're actually the tool, and everything else is just things that complement those. So stop. I don't want to see some of you guys going down the rabbit hole, which I do see of people selling outside things to you to give you momentary relief. But if your nervous system, it shifts from these states, I mean, every moment of the day, depending on your external and internal factors. And so when something's happening at your job, or something's happening in the moment, what do you have right then that communicates with this 1,000 times a day, just like this neuroception situation is going on 1,000 times a day? You're breathing 20,000 breaths a day. So you would, to go along with communicating to your nervous system. So I think it would behoove everyone to not pay attention to this and actually decide they want to start regulating themselves while adding other things that also help you regulate your nervous system from the outside. But the foundation has to be set from within yourself. So again, thank you for joining me. And I look forward to some of you guys actually asking some questions, because if you're not asking questions, then a lot of people I can tell you, they're going to sell you a lot of stuff, just like the medical system is doing. They're selling you a lot of medications, but you're on medications and you be filling that prescription because it's not solving the problem. So thank you again for joining me. And we look forward to seeing you down the road.